of the most fun things that we get to host every year, Tuba Christmas. There is nothing else like this experience that you're going to have today. It's going to be great. It's a lot of fun. If there's anything that we can do to assist you while you're here, our staff is scattered throughout the hallways, and we're honored to do this. It's always a joy to be able to partner with our friends down at the Downtown Presbyterian Church, and you're going to be hearing more from their pastor a little bit later today about the fundraising aspect of this fun time together today. But gosh, it's great to have you here. If you don't have a place that you call your church home, on behalf of either of our congregations, Downtown Pres or First Baptist Church Nashville, we'd invite you to go to our respective websites and find some things that are going on in the holiday seasons. I know we're having Christmas Eve services. They are too. We'd invite you to come and be a part of that. This coming Sunday night here at First Baptist, we have our annual Carol Candlelight service. It begins at 7 p.m., members of the Nashville String Machine, along with our 100-plus voice choir, will be singing the songs of the season. It's a great service, and we'd invite you to plug in and be a part of that if you can. Well, with no further commercials or ado, let me just again say thank you for being here, and would you give a warm welcome to GR and Tuba Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Tuba Christmas to everybody. So nice to have you here. You'll notice that we have a pretty good sized audience here. The first year we came to First Baptist at their invitation, we only had one concert and we couldn't fit everybody in. So that's why we've gone to two concerts now, and we're so glad that you came. We're hoping that we play something that's to your fancy here pretty soon. But I was watching on that first tune, and not everybody here was singing, and that could be a problem, you know. So I'm going to play one for you. We're going to play one for you. By the way, I brought 148 of my friends with me today to entertain you today. And, this group, people have never seen each other before. About an hour and a half ago, we had about a 50-minute rehearsal, and this is what you get when you bring a lot of tuba players together at Christmas. We have a lot of fun. There are about 200 of these concerts going on all across the United States. Anyway, this next Christmas carol is one that all of you can sing, whether you know Christmas carols or not. If you can handle fa la 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 la, la 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 la. Deck the halls, number 3, tubas. Thank you very much. Just a couple of words about the people that are up here. We have all ages. We have a number of high school band directors. Would all of the band teachers or music teachers raise your hands, all of that are up here? Isn't that something? Yes, indeed. We're so lucky in Tennessee to have excellent music education, and you know, these people need your help. When you start hearing rumors that the budget's going to be cut for the band, or you see articles in the paper, you need to be down at the school board telling them, no, we're going to have to figure out something else. Get rid of that football team. We got to have the band. Now, you know, we as I say, we get a wide spread of ages and experience levels. There's some professional players up here. There's some people who've probably been playing for less than a year, and they're all different ages. Our senior player for many years was Louis Mathis, and unfortunately we lost him this past year. He played 2 years ago at the age of 96. He died this year at the age of 98. So see what playing the euphonium will do for you if you hang in there. And I believe our oldest participant this year is Rich Davis, who must be a long-lost cousin of mine. I'm not sure, but Rich, would you stand up and be recognized? Now, you know, when you're in your 40s and 50s, you don't want to admit your age, but Rich doesn't mind if I say he's 84. So, yeah. And we have, as for the youngest player, we have a bunch here who are 11 years old, and let's see, I've got all the names. Would all y'all stand up? And we got, let's see, Sarah, Ainsley, Cassidy, we've got Diego, Ella, and Cooper. I hope I got them all. Did I count? Does that count right? Count? Yeah. All right. Some of these people come every year. Let's see. Everybody that's here for the first time, raise your hand, would you? Okay, we got a lot of first timers. Okay. Now, I know there are a few people that go way back in this. Is there anybody who's been here for all of these, except for Nancy and myself? That goes back to 1987. Or was anybody here for the first one in 1987? I heard yes. All right, there we go. And I understand that there might be somebody here who was at Rockefeller Center back in the 70s. Would you raise your hand? Yes, ma'am. What year were you there? 76. Okay, I think it started in 74, so it's very near the beginning. Well, anyway, I'll hesitate to try not to do too much talking. One of the reasons I do this is that some of us don't play that often, and we need to rest our chops, you know, a little bit between the tunes, so that's part of the reason. Other than the fact I'm like little Jimmy Dickens, I like to tell the same jokes over and over again to see if you remember them from the last time. quite a feeling of power to have 148 tuba players in front of you with all this brass. If you give me $100, I'll let you come up here and conduct one. Our guest artist today, I say guest, she's been with us for a number of years, leading the singing is Carmen Sanders, who's a wonderful soprano, good friend of mine. And she actually called me up several years ago when we were over at Church Street Center and asked if she could come sing with the tubas. And I thought she was nuts. But turns out she was serious, and what a wonderful job she does. These pieces that are arranged, that we're playing, were arranged by the great American composer and arranger Alec Wilder. And those of you who follow public radio might have heard his program that he did for a number of years, American Popular Song. He also penned a few familiar tunes that you might have heard Sinatra or somebody like that sing. It's so peaceful in the country, and I'll be around. And but anyway, he arranged all of these pieces in a single night. And the reason that this was done was Harvey Phillips, who founded Tuba Christmas and was my tuba teacher, wanted to do a concert at New York's Rockefeller Center to honor his teacher, William Bell. And he called Alec and told him, I'd like for you to arrange the music for the tubas. And at the time, Alec was in a very depressed state of mind. He just lost some dear friends. Pablo Casals had died, and I think John Barrows and a couple of other good friends of his. And he said, Harvey, you know I'm not writing any music. I can't write any music. And he said, Alec, I'm not asking you to write any music. It's already written. I'm asking you to arrange it. And he said, I'll think about it. The next morning, about 7 a.m., Alec, phone rang. It was Alec. He says, well, I got your carols done. He'd stayed up all night and arranged this entire book. And they did the first performance in 1974 at Rockefeller Center on the ice there in front of the statue of Prometheus. I know you've seen it on television. I'll mention a little more about that in a minute, but let's play one now that's a concert number. Let's do Aloha Rose. I think that's 21. This is one of my favorite carols, and it was asked for specifically by a member of the ensemble. It's an Advent song called Aloha Rose Air Blooming. We'll just play it for you straight through. No, won't ask you to sing because it's a little less familiar. Thank you very much. Now, all of these instruments are in the same family of musical instruments. They're all conical bore brass instruments. Depending on your point of view, they're all in the tuba family or all in the euphonium family. But let's just point out a couple of the different kinds of instruments we have in case you're not familiar with all of these. Starting in the back, the ones with the bell covers on. And by the way, the budget was a little short this year, so we couldn't spell Tuba Christmas. Or maybe that's the Common Core version of Tuba Christmas, I'm not sure. But anyway, those are sousaphones, and they were named for John Philip Sousa, the inventor. Now, the original sousaphones had the bells going straight up in the air, and tuba players affectionately referred to those as rain catchers. And I'm sure you can understand why. So there's a good reason to push the bell toward the front, so that if you're out there and it starts to rain, they don't get heavier and heavier, you know, as they fill up with water. Okay, now the tubas that you hold in your lap are concert-style tubas or symphonic tubas. Chris Warpool, would you hold your horn up there where they can see it? All right, see, that's a concert-style tuba, and those are the ones that you would most often see played in a band nowadays or in a symphony orchestra. Let's see, the horns up here toward the front. Atticus, would you hold up his? That's a euphonium. There's also, these are sometimes called baritones in the United States, but truthfully a baritone is a smaller bore instrument. But next to him, hold up yours. Notice there's a bell front euphonium, but very often the band directors would call those a baritone. Okay, now let's see, what else we got? We got a couple of recording basses. Yeah, back here. Hold that recording bass up. See that thing? Yeah. It's kind of like a concert-style tuba with a bell toward the front. The reason they're called recording basses is that in the early days of recording, that it was hard to get things to record because they didn't have good amplifiers, didn't have any amplifiers originally, and you could point that thing right at a microphone and by golly it would record, you know, so that's why they call them a recording bass. Okay, now, let's see, Tommy, what's that weird thing you got over there? Double bell euphonium. Could you play a little bit for us on that and show us what it does? How about that? Now, my understanding is that was invented up at one of the instrument companies. They had some parts left over when they got through, so not sure, but let's see. Did I miss any tubas? I guess we got some small E flats up there, don't we? Joe, you got a small E flat, don't you? See that the tuba? Yeah, that right there in front, that small one. That's also a tuba. It's just in different keys. Tubas come in 4 different keys: E flat, F, B flat, and C. And they all have different fingerings, so if you play them all, it takes a little bit of mind juggling to keep track of that. Now, at this point in the program, I would like to invite the Minister of Music of this wonderful music program here to come up and conduct the tubas in Hark the Herald. Let's see, that's 26, number 26. And in case you've never heard the choir here, you need to get down here Sunday evening. What time's the 7 o'clock. They'll have the choir, 100-voice choir, and the Nashville string machine, and what a wonderful choir it is. And we actually were invited here by the former Minister of Music, Mark Edwards. This is one of 2 places in 28 years we've ever been invited. The other one was to Green Hills Mall, and of course the guy left, and you see what happened to us. Maybe some of you were there the year we were in the parking garage, but we've closed down a lot of places around here, you know, and so I don't think this church is in trouble, though. As long as they own these lots, they can keep selling off down here. But Joe, if we'd love to hear the tubas under a real conductor for a change, and here's Joe Fitzpatrick. got a quick story about the beginning of Tuba Christmas that I sometimes leave out. My wife Betty said it was a good story, unlike most of my stories, so I'm going to include this one. Harvey Phillips used to tell this story. How many of you ever went to Tuba Christmas when he was there? Did any of you ever see him? Oh, several of you did. What a character he was. And give you an idea, he was kind of a mixture of a wonderful musician with a little P.T. Barnum mixed in. He had a group called the Tuba Santas, 20-some guys all in Santa suits that would go out and do these same tunes. So he certainly had a good time doing what he did. But he wanted to honor William Bell, who there are actually one or two of you who knew William Bell. I see Al Jaworski down here. He knew William Bell, who was an incredible musician. He was the tuba player in Toscanini's NBC Symphony and also the New York Philharmonic for many years. And I was privileged to study with him briefly. Harvey was his good friend and his student. And he wanted to honor Mr. Bell, who was born in 1902 on Christmas Day. And so he decided to do this concert with all these tubas, and he called up Rockefeller Center, and he said, here's what I want to do. I want to bring 300 tubas over to Rockefeller Center out on the skating rink, and we're going to do a Christmas concert. And he said there was a long silence on the other end of the phone, and they said, you want to do what? And he explained to them again, and they said, well, I don't think so. We've never allowed anything like that. And he said, well, would you at least call a couple of my references? And they said, well, I guess we can do that. Who are your references? He gave them the personal unlisted telephone numbers of Doc Severinsen, Leopold Stokowski, Leonard Bernstein, I think Rostropovich. I mean, he gave several names. And they called back about an hour later and they said, Mr. Phillips, whatever you want, you can have. So that's how it all got started. Now, you know, we started the one here because Nancy and I were interested in it and wanted to, actually we were doing it for ourselves. You know, we wanted to play, you know, so we started this thing out. But anyway, that's what it's all gone to. Now, we'd like to play another piece for you, which is just sort of a concert piece, and this is a really fun one, and it's really the whole reason for the season, you know. Go tell it on the mountain, for Jesus Christ is born. Thank you very much. Now we'd like to play for you and let you sing with us one of my favorite of all of the carols, one of the most beautiful ones, I think, O Little Town of Bethlehem. when Harvey conducted these concerts, he would always do this particular carol a special way. Harvey said when he was a young boy growing up in Marionville, Missouri, in the midst of the Great Depression, they didn't have much money, but he got a lot of music by going to church and listening to the choir and listening to the congregation sing. And he said he especially at Christmas liked to hear the ladies sing the Glorias and Angels We Have Heard on High. But they all sounded like angels. And so today, we've got a lot of angels here. We want all of you to do that for us, to sing those Glorias. And we want to hear it, so we're actually going to stop playing. So you're it. If you don't sing Glorias, we're out of luck. And so we're going to play it all the way through once, and then we'll ask you to sing the second time. The ladies, if you would sing the Glorias down there when you get to it. Carmen will lead you. Everything will be fine. All right, here we go. Thank you. Merry Tuba Christmas. Now, at this point in the program, we would like to get serious for a moment and give you a chance to think of all of those, your friends who you would like to have sitting beside you there in the pew who are no longer around. And I'd like to pay special tribute to some tuba players. Of course, William Bell, born 1902, to Alec Wilder, who died on Christmas Eve in about 1984, I think it was, and to Harvey Phillips himself, who passed on in 2010, October 2010, and to Lewis Mathis, who we lost in August of this year, and also to a great trumpet player that used to come and play flugelhorn with us every year, Keith Ellis. And I'm sure you have many names. My wife, my first wife, Carol, who used to come and register everybody, I lost in 2003. And I know many of you here have lost friends and loved ones this year. So this is for them, and Nancy's going to come and conduct the most famous and the most beautiful and wonderful Christmas carol of all, Silent Night.
This is number 11. Thank you. I would like to add one name to the list of people that we remember at this time of year, and that is Bobby Morris, who was the wife of Winston Morris. And if you know anything about tubas in Tennessee, you've heard the name Winston Morris. I was a student at Tennessee Tech, as were a few others up here, and Bobby was sort of our mother away from home. So an ad hoc tuba player, I guess you could say. Moving right along with our concert, we're going to play the Wassail song, which does have words to go with it. You know, if you know the words and want to sing, join us. If you don't know the words, it's Christmas. Just sing fa la 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 la. It won't matter. I know GR has already informed everybody of the history of our Tuba Christmas here in Nashville and just Tuba Christmas in general. It was just almost by accident that he and I got together. Maybe not by accident. Maybe it was part of some big plan. But I had talked to Winston Morris because I lived here. I'd always wanted to do Tuba Christmas in Nashville. I mean, they had them other places. Why not here? And so he gave me Harvey's phone number. I called Harvey and talked to Harvey's wife, and she said, well, I think they have plans for Nashville. And she told me I needed to talk to GR. So GR and I met, and the rest is history. Here we are. I look forward to this event every year. And the older I get, the more it means to me. And it's just so cool that I think about being able to do this and having all of these people here, all different ages. You know, you play a sport and you can only do it a certain amount of time. Your body wears out. If you are a musician, if you play, if you sing, you can do that all your life, literally. Any of you that might be interested in learning to play tuba or euphonium, do that, and you can join us next year. Okay, I'd like to play for you Joy to the World. It's 14 in the books. We were blessed with so many attendees, and I was informed that the people here on the floor couldn't always hear what we were playing. So that's why I'm giving the number. So we're really glad you all are here. We're truly blessed this year and every year.
Now, I hope you'll indulge Carmen and myself. We'd like to perform something for you that Harvey used to do. And Harvey and I once played this on WKDF live on the air, if you can imagine that, back when it was a rock and roll station. They thought they were going to make fun of us, but we made fun of them before it was through. But anyway, it's called Santa Wants a Tuba for Christmas. Let me see if I can get this, wiggle my way into this 1920s model Helican down here. Now, Santa brings toys to good girls and boys. He's done it for years and years. But who would have thought that Santa has got a special wish of his own?
Santa wants a tuba for Christmas, a bright, shiny tuba to play. Santa wants a tuba for Christmas, so please won't you bring one his way. Santa wants a tuba for Christmas, he never had a present before. Santa wants a tuba for Christmas, it's all that he's ever asked for. Santa knows the tuba blows the jolliest sound you'll hear. What he wants to see waiting under the tree is a tuba toot toot when he's finished his route. Yes, Santa wants a tuba for Christmas. He never had a present before. Santa wants a tuba for Christmas. It's all that he's ever asked for. It's all that he's ever asked for. Santa wants a tuba in his stocking this year.
Thank you so much, Carmen. It's a good thing we're not trying to really make the big time, because if we were, that'd be the end of it, huh? Now I'd like to introduce the pastor from Downtown Presbyterian Church, Reverend Mike Wilson, just to say a word or two about their luncheons that they do for the homeless. I would like to say that we came up with this idea when a few years ago we actually did our concert at your church. And we had a lot of angry people over there because they couldn't fit in. They were out on the sidewalk. But we came up with the idea at the time of doing an offering for that homeless luncheon. And we're going to do that today. You're under no obligation whatsoever, because we never charge at Tuba Christmas. There's no admission charge for you to come and listen. But they will be gathered out in the lobby with some buckets to take up any donations you wish to give this program. So, Mike?
Thank you, Maestro, for the wonderful work today. Low Brass of Nashville, amazing. Thank you, friends here at First Baptist Church, and thank all of you for coming out today. We do have a vital ministry at the Downtown Presbyterian Church. Every Wednesday for lunch and every Sunday morning for breakfast, we serve a meal to Nashville's homeless and urban poor. Each meal, we average about 200. Sometimes we have as many as 350 people that come and eat with us. We also have, I administer a pastor's discretionary fund where I am able to help folks with basic necessities like IDs, driver's licenses, birth certificates, and medication. These are vital things for folks that are living on the streets and, say, trying to get into housing or find a job. An $8 driver's license can mean the difference between getting a job and staying on the streets. We are grateful for the continued generosity of folks at Tuba Christmas, and I hope today that you will help us celebrate the season by looking out for Nashville's poor and homeless. Thank you all again for coming out today.
Thank you so much, Mike. We really had no idea in the past about how many people would be interested, but we've raised some really significant funds for that program. So if you have a little extra today, I'm sure they'd appreciate it. Now we're going to play for you probably our favorite and our big closer here, Jingle Bells. And, well, you know, just react in whatever way you feel like reacting, I guess. But Jingle Bells. Thank you. Okay, we'll play one more for you. Before we, thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Before we do that, let me just point out that if you decide you want to give something to the offering, and the people will be out in the lobby. Also, my lovely young assistant down here is holding a Tuba Christmas hat in her hand. If you would like one of these buttons that we have that say, Merry Tuba Christmas 2014, we've got a few extras, I think, don't we? All right, we're out of hats, okay. No scarves, okay. We got a few of these buttons left, $5 for those. And then we've got a few buttons from last year, which was an amazing button. That was our 40th year over nationwide for Tuba Christmas. Has a picture of Harvey Phillips, Alec Wilder, and William Bell on it. So if you want one of those, see her. And I think she's got a few hats left down there in case you want one of those. Okay, we're going to play for you. We wish you a Merry Christmas, which is our wish for you. If you're a glutton for punishment, you're welcome to stay for the 12:30 show. In between, we have some snacks for our players provided by Jupiter Band Instrument Company, and so we'll see you next year. Here we are. Thank you. Merry Tuba Christmas. See you next year.